Good Tuesday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this beautiful Tuesday, the 5th of August, 2014. Morning surface chart this morning shows generally clear skies, although we do have quite a bit of fog across the Connecticut River Valley, portions of Long Island, interior northeastern New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area, and also portions of central and southern New Jersey as well into southeastern Pennsylvania. And some of these visibilities in the fog this morning are being reduced to about a quarter to a half to 3/4 of a mile. This fog will begin to burn off and sunshine will predominate, with temperatures rising well into the 80s across the entire forecast region this afternoon. The exceptions right along the barrier islands here along the coastal sections, where onshore winds will develop a sea breeze front, and that will keep temperatures into the upper 70s. Warnings and advisories for southeastern Connecticut and interior Connecticut as well. We have some dense fog this morning, some patchy dense fog in Connecticut, reducing visibilities to a quarter mile or less. The fog will likely persist until shortly after daybreak, so drivers need to use caution there. We have small craft advisories in effect for late tonight to 6 p.m. on Wednesday, and this would be for Sandy Hook, New Jersey out to Montauk Point, where seas will be ranging between 3 to 6 feet. We also have small craft advisories along the New Jersey coastal waters for seas at 3 to 5 feet and a long period 11 to 14 second swell. Conditions will be particularly rough around the inlets, and this is in effect from this evening to 10 a.m. on Wednesday as Bertha moves further out into the Atlantic. Over interior Philadelphia and the northern interior sections of Maryland this morning, we have an air quality alert which is in effect for today, and this means it's code orange, unhealthy air pollutants for sensitive groups including children, people suffering from asthma, heart disease, or other lung diseases, and the elderly. The effects of air pollution can be minimized by avoiding strenuous activity or exercise outdoors. Here's the very latest on Bertha right now. Bertha is moving, basically it's a tropical storm now. It's moving at about 22 miles per hour to the north and east. It is now downgraded to a tropical storm. Its maximum winds are 65 miles an hour, highest gust up to 75 miles an hour. It's going to continue to accelerate away from the coastal waters and into the northern Atlantic during the next 12 to 24 hours. Latest visible pass of the satellite this morning shows the clouds with Bertha here well off the Carolina coastline here, accelerating to the north and east. We have another area of low pressure along the baroclinic zone, the old stalled out frontal boundary here off the Carolina coast. That's providing some precipitation in those regions, but nothing here. And generally high pressure is in control. We have a cold front approaching from the west, and that will pass through during the afternoon and evening hours on Wednesday with some isolated showers and thunderstorms. So dry, sunny conditions today. Temperatures in the upper 80s away from the coast, 70s along the immediate coast with an onshore breeze during this afternoon. And it's going to be a beautiful, hot, typical summertime afternoon across the region. On the water vapor imagery this morning, we can see Bertha, the small cluster of rising motion here in the clouds, the circular motion here well off the Carolina coast, another area of lifting off the immediate South Carolina coast here associated with low pressure, and our jet structure here between the two systems, the trough and cold front to our west, and the jet stream with our frontal boundary offshore here, providing lots of mid and upper level convergence. That means surface divergence, and that means lots of drying in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere with mostly sunny skies and hot conditions for this afternoon. Taking a look at the latest radar, we can see a portion of Bertha here off of this scan here, and this is not the scan we want to take a look at. Let's move ahead to this scan here. We can find precipitation moving off the Carolina coast and dry conditions across the northern mid-Atlantic region. And on the aviational weather deck this morning, we have basically VFR conditions at Reading, Allentown, Trenton, North Philadelphia, Philadelphia, and Wilmington. And there were some low clouds and dense fog at Millville and Atlantic City, and portions of interior Connecticut also where you see the pinks here. This is indicative out on Suffolk, Long Island, interior Connecticut, where we have some patchy dense fog advisories until around daybreak this morning. Very isolated shower or thunderstorm possible for this afternoon and evening with the heating, and that would be away from the coast. However, limited potential does not warrant their mentioning in the terminal area forecast. Well, we want to point that out. A light and variable wind this morning should become west to southwest at around 4 to 8 knots this afternoon. The sea breeze front is expected to reach Atlantic City at around 17 Z this afternoon. The wind is forecast to become light and variable this evening with a light northwesterly wind possible late tonight. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly VFR, scattered showers and thunderstorms, which may temporarily lower the ceilings and visibilities, and then back to VFR conditions Thursday through Saturday. Right now, outside of Newark, it's mostly cloudy. It's a little bit of fog out there. Temperature 68, dew point 64, humidity 88%. Muggy day out there, mostly cloudy skies right now, and that's some scattered clouds at 25,000 feet. Further inland at Morristown, there is a little bit of fog at 3/4 of a mile, 61 degrees, dew point 57, humidity 88%, but basically IFR conditions right now, or limited IFR conditions with the fog, and that's going to be lifting. Also see that across central and southern New Jersey at Mount Holly's National Airport, South Jersey Regional Airport rather, 64 degrees, humidity is 96%, and 3/4 of a mile visibility. Outside of Philadelphia, things are looking good right now. 69 degrees, dew point 63, humidity 81%, the wind is southwest at 7. Overcast conditions with a few clouds at 28,000 feet, VFR conditions in place. This is a nice shot from Google Earth's Earth Wind Map community. You can see this is Bertha here off the Carolina coast, well out over the ocean. It's tied back towards another low along the old frontal boundary here off the South Carolina coast. And over interior sections of our region, we basically find a westerly flow, a westerly component with drying winds across the region. And as such, these westerly winds will heat up the atmosphere well into the 80s, except along the immediate coast where we mentioned a coastal front will develop and move in during the afternoon, cooling things off back into the upper 70s. Perfect summertime day to go to the beach, but do be careful of those rip currents because they will increase to the moderate side as Bertha makes its pass well away from the forecast region, turns our winds to the north, but that's going to cause some rough seas out there, 3 to 6 foot seas with long period swells coming in from the ocean from Bertha. So that means there's a moderate risk of rip currents today and tonight and tomorrow. Please do not swim alone. Always swim in lifeguarded areas and have a flotation device. For the rest of the surf zone today, sunny temperatures in the lower 80s, north winds at around 5, becoming southeast in the afternoon. The surf at around 2 feet. The swell around 2 feet as well. Air will surf temperatures between 70 and 75, and the UVI index is 8, very high, so you're going to need sunscreen or sun protection. And the next high tide cycle at Atlantic City is going to be at 3:12 this afternoon, and at Rehoboth Beach in Delaware at 3:37 this afternoon. Latest morning run of the NAM Wharf composite reflectivity forecast. Here is Bertha offshore of the northern mid-Atlantic coast states and accelerating rapidly away to the north and east, producing some rough seas around the coastal waters from Delaware all the way to the New York area, and that's why the small craft advisory is in effect. Notice that the clouds of the day will be of the cumulus variety. There could even be a thunderstorm around the region, isolated in nature during this afternoon or late tonight and early tomorrow morning. And they will not be strong, but they could produce about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch of rain, and as such, be mindful of that. Otherwise, just typical summertime weather. A cold front will be driving through the region during tomorrow afternoon. Scattered cloud cover tomorrow morning. A nice day, temperatures in the 80s once again, cooler along the immediate coast. And then the cold front sinks to our south and east with rapid clearing on the way for Wednesday night. Beautiful day on Thursday, cool, refreshing air mass in place with temperatures generally running in the upper 70s and lower 80s, and that dry weather will stick around through the weekend with high pressure in control. GFS forecast maps into motion. Here's Bertha now. Bertha is moving out into the Atlantic, well off the northern New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, northern mid-Atlantic coast states, and away from the forecast region. Cold front drops through during tomorrow afternoon and evening. Perhaps a few showers, an isolated thunderstorm around the region. And then look at this. Canadian high pressure builds in across the forecast region through the weekend. Now, this is the start of the weekend, but we wanted to monitor this feature that we talked about yesterday where we had low pressure along the old stalled out frontal boundary section here in the southeastern United States. Looks like the high wants to win out, but the model, the GFS, and to some extent even the Canadian CMC model, wants to move some of this precipitation into our southern regions. This would be primarily for later in the day on Sunday and Sunday evening, and then high pressure would try to return to the area forecast early next week. This will have to be monitored as this solution is still possible, and precipitation could move in as far as showers and perhaps even a thunderstorm around here later Sunday night or Monday, and we're just going to have to monitor this situation very closely. That would be the fly in the ointment. Right now, the National Weather Service forecast is calling for generally fair weather right into Monday. We'll keep an eye on that for you. So enjoy this beautiful day. If you're at the beaches, be careful out there with the rip current risk being on the moderate to high side. For Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a great Tuesday. We'll be back in video form tomorrow morning.